He was trying to make it into the league, and he was basically doing all of that. So he distanced himself from the film, is what my understanding was. So I was like, okay, cool.
I guess I kind of get that they didn't want you to meet him before the film because it's almost like that. Which you never really forget your story, right? So he never forgot the
Yeah.
story in the experience, but maybe his mindset and his mood was something different. But finding out that you never met him and you portrayed him that well, that was amazing. So,
Uh,
seeing as how you didn't meet him then before you did the film, did you actually get a chance to meet him and did he give his feedback?
yeah, I met back in 2013. So like 10 years ago, we met for the first time. We were doing an autograph signing in Chicago together. Me, him, and some other Ravens players, and that was when we first met. I remember a group of us went out to dinner that night, and we shared some stories and stuff. And he didn't really get into what he thought about the film at that time. Um, we talked about, the fact that, a lot of people call him me. And I was like, that's funny because everyone calls me you. Like my name's not Quentin anymore. It's Mike or Big Mike or Michael, so whenever I hear that, I'm looking like, huh? Like as if it was, you know what I mean? But so that was our back and forth at the time. Um, but then I remember, I think it was sometime later or whatever, the article came out, or it might have. I mean, I don't remember when the first article came out about his dislike of the film, but we didn't talk about it when we met, so it had to have been later. And I remember at first I felt some type of way because I thought it was a jab at me, but then as I thought about what he was actually saying, I was like, okay, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with me because I'm not responsible for the story that was told. All I did was play a part. As an actor, I had a director to listen to. I had words to read that I didn't write. You know what I mean? And all I did was portray the emotion based on the direction I was given. So his I felt like his beef with the story was in a sense to where it wasn't true to the script. I mean, true to the word on how it actually happened. But in Hollywood, we take several liberties all the time. We tell a story, we make it entertaining because sometimes what really happened may not play off as well with the character or with the audience as we would hope it to be. Like there were scenes that I know personally that happened in real life that trying to get the audience to kind of go with it that way probably wouldn't have went off as well. And so, however it may be, the studio takes certain liberties to kind of change things, but based on a true story means just that it's based on a true story. It doesn't mean every word to the nail is going to be true, so that's what I've come to learn, you know, in my time in this business anyway. So,
Well, the first thing is anytime you can get somebody to call you by the name of the character that you played, that definitely means you did your job well. And that is how they're going to remember you. I understand you're Quentin and you got your own life and all of this, but anytime you have embodied a character that well and they can just embrace you like that, that means you did a phenomenal job. So kudos to you on that.
well,
My
thank you.
second
Thank you.
question, well, not my second question, it's like my fourth question, but what was it like working with Sandra Bullock? Because she's amazing. And that was my first time seeing her portray a role like that. So it just blew me
Yeah.
away. So what was that like for you?
Oh man, it was a dream. It was a dream. I was first of all, let's just say I had the biggest crush on Sandra Bullock. You know what I mean? Like as did so many other men and yeah, at the time. So I mean I grew up watching her movies and everything from Demolition Man to Speed to The Net, Miss Congeniality, you know what I mean? Um Love Potion number 9. A lot of people don't talk about that. That was like one of her first ones. I've just seen so much of her work over the years. You know, the house by was it the one she did with Sleepless in Seattle? She did the one with Keanu Reeves, where it was like it was a house that they were writing letters to, and one was in the past. I forgot. I think it was like House by the Lake or something like that. I'm a huge fan of her. So like when I heard she was doing the part, I got super excited. I was just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna contain myself, but it's crazy. So it was just amazing to be in that situation, to be able to I feel like these guys are getting ready to open the door. I'm I'm sitting here and there's like people outside the car watching. But it's funny. It was amazing to be in that situation, to be able to work with her. I I loved it. I hope to get another chance, or even with someone else in the future that I'm a fan of, to be able to work with. That's the thing about this business. You can one day be sharing the screen with someone that you grew up watching and working with them, and it's just amazing, you know.
So recently, you have kind of been all over the blogs lately about, being very vocal about the legal issues and the things surrounding the film. So, in retrospective to that, how has it been for you to kind of stay neutral? I mean, you talked about it a little bit with your understanding of the based on a true story, and you're absolutely right that that's what it means. And they even give the whole disclaimer and say, some of the names have been changed to protect or whatever. So,
Basically,
how has it been for you to kind of stay in that safe lane?
um, you know, as far as with everything that's been going on, is what you mean? Like today, it's one of those things where I look at the positive of what this film has done over the years. I've heard from so many kids and adults who were kids at the time it came out, and of how this film changed their lives. So I kind of try and stay with that. You know, it's unfortunate what's going on between the family and with Michael. Um, it's disheartening, and I don't want to take sides, because I've gotten a chance to meet both the Tuohys and Michael, and just gaining such a respect and love and admiration for what they did for him, and what they've become for one another. You know, he's done just as much for their lives over the years as they did for him. And I feel like that kind of partnership and that kind of love should be cherished. And I feel like what's going on today, it's bad, but I really feel like I said this to someone else before. I said I don't think it should be handled in the media. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you allow everyone from the outside to chime in, things get ugly. They get drastic. And I really feel like it's a family matter that should be handled behind closed doors. It's not the world's business. It's theirs to go and handle, so that they can have some kind of resolve at the end, to where they could, you know what I mean? It's I really feel like if they do, sit down with one another and hash it out, things can be, reconciled or something like that. Now, at least that's my hopes anyway.
So let's talk about how did the film affect Quinton? Because sometimes when we play these roles, like I know you don't believe it, I know I don't look like it, but I played a thug on a TV show one time. I couldn't get my gun out of my purse. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. Now, when you with you portraying this role, how did it affect you? Like, did you come out of playing Michael and the circumstances? Did you come out with a different outlook or a different perspective or something that you may not have even thought about just by this one role?
Um, it's funny. It's like I've always seen myself as a character, and I feel like this role that had such a huge impact was barely scratching the surface of what I'm capable of as an actor. You know what I mean? I feel like it was almost like a cheat in some sense because I was just being myself, and at the time, younger me, because this was 14 years ago. I just turned 39. Younger me and what I was going through in my life, I was able to pull from that situation. I was a lot more timid, humbled, and not just, what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't notice, but 6 months before we started filming, I lost my mom. And it was just me and my brother. And we were living in the same apartment that she had died in. And I couldn't get a job all winter. We lost all our utilities. I was walking 2 miles back and forth to my aunt's house every day to get food for us to eat. Uh, and going back and forth to court trying to keep a roof over our head. The day that I got the call for the eviction, hung up the phone 30 seconds later, got a call about the movie. And they literally flew me and my brother out 24 hours later to go do the movie. So um it was one of those things where it was like, even though it was an easy role for me to portray, I felt at the time, it was such a huge point in my life because it brought me from the brink of becoming something or doing something that I don't know if I could have taken back or come back from. And when you're faced with certain situations, you kind of like don't want to go into that place. And I felt like God said, here's this now, so that you don't go where I see you about to, so that you don't do what I see you about to do. And that's what I'm forever grateful for with this film. But I think as far as the many different characters that I can portray or have been able to do over the years, as an artist, you got a lot of different sides to you. And I still have a lot of things that I want to do I haven't yet done. A lot of people don't know I'm very comical. Like I'm funny. I'm funny. I don't like the brag. I don't like the brag, but I got jokes. I'm funny, and so I definitely want to get to show that side of me. I grew up a fan of the action world, so I definitely want to do some action. But I'm also the guy that likes to get the girls. So I like the rom-coms and the love stories as well. So like I'm a big, pull at the heartstring kind of guy. So it's a lot more than meets the eye with me. And I think, if people stay tuned, they'll see more to come. And, I'm not finished. I was quiet for a little bit, but I'm not finished.
Well, first of all, sorry to hear about your mom. I definitely can relate. I lost my dad at 18, and it's like, well, 19.
Mm,
And it's kind of a situation where you're teeter-tottering between a teenager and adulthood, and then
yeah.
you get slapped with something like that. And I totally agree with you because that could have been so opposite of where you were. So I commend you on actually even doing that role because being in an emotional state and going into an emotional role is like,
Hmm.
oh my God, I'm crying every 5 minutes. So you did amazing. You held it together. And, I definitely think that was your mom watching over you in whatever aspect that it was. But what else have you done? Like you say you're funny. I don't know. I ain't seen it yet. But
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't had a lot of chances to show it yet. See, this industry, you gotta, you know, people, they don't really like to take chances.
ah,
If they seen it, they want to do it again and again and again. If
yeah.
they haven't seen it, you got to show it to them. So I'm still waiting for my opportunity, but I'm also creating my opportunity at the same time. So when I get that, when a brother get that funded and this strike lifts, there'll be some yeah, there'll be some funny in my future.
Who's a comedian that you would like to work with? Like, who's somebody in the comedy industry right now that you would love to partner with to do a role?
Definitely Kevin Hart.
I definitely see that. I wasn't gonna say it, but
Def-
I see it. I get it.
listen. I'm 6'8". He's
He's short.
5'3", 5". Yeah, he's something, 5 something. You know what I mean? I think the camaraderie between us in the back and forths in the film would be hilarious. I mean, whether it's a buddy cop film or, you know, I have a couple of different ideas. I don't want to toss anything around, but I would love to get a meeting with him one day to kind of just like pick his brain, and then also pitch some stuff to him and see what he thinks.
Yeah.
Just like throw some stuff at the wall, see what sticks. You know what I mean? So, um, I have a very creative mindset that I think surprises people at the time because when they hear the things that I think of, they're like, "Wow, okay, yeah, I like that."
So in
Yeah.
your creative mindset, a lot of times when we take on these roles, some people are like stuck. Oh, this is the script, this is it, stick to the script. Like that's what they say, stick to the script. But how many characters have you portrayed where you were actually allowed to kind of tweak it a little bit and make it your own?
It's funny. There was this one movie I did, Jason's Letter with Vivica Fox, and I had this big monologue scene in the courthouse. I played a father whose son was gunned down by the cops. 12-year-old son was gunned down by the cops. Very emotional scene, very big monologue. Studied this thing in and out, knew it forward and backwards. They said action. The whole monologue went away. I was like, uh, um, damn. But I was like, I made it up right off the bat, the entire month. So it was probably like I want to say a minute and a half to almost 2 minute scene of me giving this monologue. The entire monologue was made up. He never said cut. At the end of the day, I was like, okay, we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna remember it this time. He said cut. Moving on. What? What do you? What? What? No, we got to do that again. He said, dude, that was perfect. I said, that wasn't what was in the script. He said, I know it was better. I was like, let me play that real quick. Let's. It was crazy, but like that was the first time I've ever experienced that because one, I just don't lose lines like that. But for some reason, I lost it. It said action and everything went away. I could not remember one word. It was so crazy. Like improv that entire monologue, and after like when it was cut, everyone was like, "Oh man, that was good." And I was like, "No, that wasn't." I don't even remember what I said. Like I gotta watch the movie back to see. But yeah, it's called Jason's Letter. It's
Well,
on.
it's beautiful that they allowed you to do that because I know sometimes, when you're reading scripts and you're running lines, you read them so much, you know your lines and the person's lines before yours and the person's line after yours.
Yeah,
And sometimes when you're on set and you got all your stuff down pat, but the other person in the scene don't know their lines, you sitting there
yeah,
like, come on, man. Like
yeah.
you're
Oh yeah.
very into it. That's like the worst.
Mhm.
But I definitely respect you, respect your craft. I get it. I understand. A lot of times we sit down in front of the TV screens, we watch an hour-long show, which is really like 35, 45 minutes if you put in the commercials. We watch the
Yeah,
movies, we watch all of these things, and we don't get to see what it really takes, the days that it really takes, the hours that it really takes. So it's not easy.
exactly.
So
Oh yeah.
congratulations to you on everything that you're accomplishing. So what is next for Quinton?
Uh, music, music. I am definitely so music was my first love growing up, and I think I've always wanted it to remain that. a love of mine and not a job. So I decided I wanted movies and acting to be my career. But in the past couple years, something, inside of me said, why not? Let's go for it. And I felt like it was another avenue for me to use my platform for good. So I started doing songs. I wrote my first song 2 years ago called Lead with Love, and that became my first single, which released June 23rd of this year. So it's actually moving around it's in the gospel and Christian and R&B atmosphere right now, adult contemporary as well. But it's one of those songs that can unify everyone and spread love throughout a nation as opposed to hate, which is so viral nowadays. So my mission in life is to make love viral. You know.
And myself on mute, but I love that. That's amazing. Like, eventually when you train your mind to think positive thoughts, I'm sure it becomes easy. But it's
Yeah.
that process of trying to not let doubt creep in or not let negativity
Oh yeah.
creep in. So I definitely love the fact that you're putting positive music out there because, I'm a church girl and I know I don't act like it sometimes, but I definitely believe what we listen to, what we watch, what we surround ourselves with. It really does feed into your spirit.
It
And
does. It does.
I found myself for like a whole month listening to gospel music. Now, I'm not going to say life was great, but I was able to maneuver through some things. And it's like
Yeah.
I tried to go back and listen to some of the other stuff. I didn't even feel right. Now, granted, now I'm back to listening to both. I'm kind of juggling both. But it was just
Yeah.
the fact of, what you read and you put your spirit into. And I'm always
Yeah.
like, God, I want a closer relationship with God. I want to, it's so crazy that I finally, like when I read the Bible, I get understanding now where I didn't in the past. I was just reading and everybody begot everybody and everybody was related. And you like, what? God, I can't read Genesis. I still can't read Genesis, but it's okay. But
Exactly.
it's just the fact of what you put into your spirit. So good for you. Put out all, yes, love, not war. Put it all out. Yeah.
Exactly.
I had to
Exactly.
turn my lights on so I could see you, so you could see me during this interview. But right now, I got my candles lit. I'm like, I'm trying to feng shui my mental state.
I feel you. I feel you. You
But
know.
I definitely thank you for taking the time out to interview with Sheen Magazine. So tell everybody where they can find you at, where they can stream your music, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. All my social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, official Quinton Aaron. Facebook, I am Quinton Aaron. Uh, that's also my website, iamquintonaaron.com. I'm on Twitter, Quinton Aaron. TikTok, I am Quinton Aaron. I'm all over the place. It's me. You know what I mean? I don't have a team doing it for me. It's me doing the social media anyway. Got teams doing everything else. So, but and yeah, I'm the song "Lead with Love" is out now, available on all streaming platforms from Apple Music to Amazon to YouTube to Tidal to Google Play to uh, Spotify. It might be on SoundCloud. I think it's on SoundCloud too. It's on Instagram, so you can find it anywhere, everywhere. Stream it, share it, send it to someone who you think needs some love, and hopefully it lifts their spirits. You know.
Lord, my Google ain't gonna allow me to email that many people that need some love. But I will send it one by one. I'm gonna send it one by one. I followed you on Instagram. I'm gonna follow you on TikTok and all them other places. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the interview. I'm just being nosy. But is your booking manager's real name Martin Luther? Is that like real?
Yes, yes. That's my talent manager. His name is Martin Luther Wardlaw. Yeah, Luther's his middle name. Wardlaw is his last name. Like, yeah, yeah. He's actually a singer himself. Like, I don't know if you're the Wardlaw Brothers,
Uh-uh.
gospel contemporary group. You should look them up. They have
I'm
some
gonna Google them too though.
songs. Yeah, the Wardlaw Brothers.
I'm gonna
Um,
do that.
yeah, he Martin Luther Ward. Yeah.
I appreciate you so much. I know you got to go. It looks like it's sunny down there wherever you are. It's storming wherever I am. So
Oh, that's all right.
as
It'll
long as
pass.
the people got your contact information, I am good. Is there anything we didn't touch on that you make sure people know about Quinton?
Just stay tuned. There's more to the story. I ain't going nowhere. I'm developing. I got my own production company. Definitely gonna be doing more music, and you're gonna start seeing and hearing a lot more from me. Yeah.
Well, I am excited. I can't wait. I just followed you. I'm gonna be keeping up with what you do, and I'm gonna follow Martin Luther too.
There we go.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. You too.
Bye bye.